I'm Sierra from Sierra and Brienne, and in today's video I am going to be doing my makeup. I think I'm going to do a little bit more of like a glam makeup look today. I've done like the last makeup video I did, I think was like an everyday makeup video, but I'm going to go a little bit more glam today. Also, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So, sorry, my cat's in the background, and I have like a window behind me, and she's in like the window, and I think there might be a squirrel or something in the backyard, so she's like, oh no, it's a bird. So she's doing that like cat tail thing. And so I'm going to start with my eyebrows, which I think I've shown you guys how I do my eyebrows before. So maybe not like the best way to do eyebrows, but it's the way that works for me. I'm just gonna get a mirror. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do short little flicks like this. This eyebrow is a little messed up because I used like hair removal cream and I accidentally rubbed my face. Like I used it for like up here and like here, but when it was up here I accidentally rubbed and then I took out like half my eyebrow. So now I'm just kind of dealing with half an eyebrow, which is not fun, but you know, there's worse things in life than having bad eyebrows. So, yeah. Anyways, also comment down below what you guys want to see next. Oh, also, I got a new cell phone, which is awesome because, like, I bought it off of my one friend. And at first when she's like, oh, do you want this cell phone? I was like, I don't know, because, like, there's nothing wrong with my cell phone. But then I was thinking about it, and, like, I used to have an iPhone 5, or, like, 5S, I don't know, it was one of the 5s. And, I couldn't, like, I couldn't film on it, because there's no space, and I also couldn't, like, take pictures on it because there's no space, although I had no pictures on it, so how there's no space, I don't know. And then I couldn't have half the apps I needed, like, when you're a YouTuber, you have YouTube Studio, and I couldn't download that on my phone because it just wasn't compatible, which was kind of annoying. And honestly, I've only had this phone for like half a day, maybe a day now, and I honestly love it so much more. Like, it just, yeah, it's so much better. So my eyebrows aren't perfect, but you know, we're working with what we got. Because I know, okay, so I used to have really, really nice eyebrows. I think I've talked about this before. Like, they used to be, like, really, like, thick, and I had a lot of hair, and it was great. But then people used to pick on me and be like, oh, you have too much eyebrow hair, like, you basically have a unibrow, blah, 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 blah. So I got them waxed, and I kept getting them waxed. Well, now, my hair isn't growing back as fast or as much, so now I have these tiny, okay, I guess, like, here it's okay, but, like, down here, these tiny, thin little eyebrows. And I'm just like, I could have had amazing eyebrows. Like, but I listened to what people said. So, yeah, just, little tip of the day. If people pick on you, don't listen to them. Because there's going to come a time when what you have that they're picking on you for becomes the cool thing, and you're going to regret waxing your eyebrows. Just saying. So I'm looking for my primer, which is, who knows. I like tried to organize my makeup, so as you can see I have like this jar that has a bunch of like my round lipsticks, and then I have like this little candle jar that has brushes in it, and then I have this with like more lipsticks in it. So I'm trying to organize, but then I still have some makeup that's like not quite organized yet. I'm also missing, I will be right back. Okay. Anyways, I also have this jar that has a bunch of makeup and stuff in it. But then the stuff that's not organized is in here. So let me know if you guys want a video where I like organize my makeup. Maybe I'll try to get more like jars and stuff. maybe I'll go for this. I'm gonna go for this little like trial-sized Smashbox, the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. I think I've used this primer before, but I'm not 100% sure. And I'm going to get primer all over me. Awesome. Anyways, yeah. Oh, and by the way, that's really thick. I did wash my face before this and my hands, so that's why my hair is all wet, because I had a shower. Which, yeah. I don't know what I was about to say. Who knows? But yeah, like I said about the phone, I honestly love this phone so much more. I think it's a 7 now. So, it's not like the newest cell phone out there, but it is a lot newer than the one I had before. And it's quite nice. I also, because the screen's a lot bigger, when it comes to like video chatting people, I can actually see their faces instead of it being like this huge. Yeah. That might be too much primer, but you know what? I want to use up this entire like thing, because I don't want it to just be like sitting in my makeup and get everywhere, and I probably wouldn't use it again because it would get gross, and I don't use the entire thing, but I probably could have. Oh, you know what? I probably could have gotten a plastic baggie and put it in. Oh well. We'll know that for next time. Okay. Next, I'm going to do foundation. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, cool. Anyways, now that I'm done throwing you. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of foundation on my beauty blender. I'm just doing like one little dot for now, and then we'll add more. Like I said, I want to go for more of like a glam, like nighttime look. So, more full coverage and more. You know what? I wonder if I should do some color correcting. Is it too late? You know what? Let's just skip the color correcting for today. Oh, also, I did a poll on my Instagram where I asked you guys to like ask me questions so I could do a Q&A. And not very many of you answered. But because of that, I don't think I'm going to do a full video on it. But maybe I'll like talk about some of the questions now, if that makes sense. So one of the questions I got that was kind of interesting was, if you had $20 to spend, what would you do with it? Which I thought was kind of cool, because like most people ask, like, if you had $1 million, what would you do? And everybody's like, I'd buy a house and a car and a this and a that and blah 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 blah. Which is true. If I had $1 million, I would be buying a house and a car and this and that and blah 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 blah. I'd probably be buying some of the people I love houses and stuff. Like, well, depending on how much I had, you know what I mean? I'd probably give some to charity, and I'd probably, but like, if I had $20 to spend right now, I would probably spend it on, you know, I don't know. I'd probably, maybe snacks, honestly. It's me. I'd probably go to the store and buy snacks. Either that, or I'd put it in savings, because I do want to get like an actual camera. So maybe I would put it in savings. I could also put it towards, because like I still have to, like I'm doing like a payment plan with my friend for this phone, so I might give like her the money to go towards the cell phone, like for buying it, because I think I gave her 40 this month or something, so that'd be like 60 for this month, and then that'd be, yeah, not quite half of it paid off, unfortunately, but I mean, it'd be more than already paid off. Anyways, oh, and then the other question, like, about the $1 million. Yeah, I would definitely buy me and my boyfriend a house. I'd buy a car. I'd probably, honestly, I would think about buying, like, not an apartment, but you know those houses that, like, at least where I live, we have these houses that have, like, 3 or 4 different apartments in them, and on the outside, they just look like house, but then when you go to the inside, they're actually like broken up into different sections. I'd probably buy one of those and then like rent them out to people, like friends and family and stuff. And then I'd probably buy, like, if I could, well, I probably could, I'd buy like my friend a car and stuff, and I'd probably pay off some of my mom's debts for her and stuff, you know, just the normal, I'm an adult and this is the world, I have debts type thing. Which then if she didn't have to like worry about paying for stuff like that, then, oh, I would also pay off my OSAP because I started to go to college, which was just, it was a mistake. Going to college is not a mistake, like that's not what I'm saying at all, but what I thought I wanted to go for ended up being a mistake, because I thought that I wanted to be an addictions counselor. I do not want to be an addictions counselor. So that just ended up being like a huge waste of my time. But, you know. Sorry, I'm looking for... oh, here it is, my concealer. Yeah, I do really need to organize my makeup. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of concealer. And my face is already itchy. But, oh well. I don't know what it is, but lately whenever I put makeup on, my face just gets so itchy. I wonder if maybe it's because the foundation I'm using is supposed to be like, for sensitive skin, and it's not supposed to make you itchy. But I wonder if maybe I need new foundation. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, comment down below, any foundation brands you guys know of that's good for like sensitive skin, like it's itchy really easily. Because I would definitely like to know of some. Oh, also, honestly, I don't have a TikTok. I don't know. I didn't think it was something I was interested in, but the more I see about it, the more I'm like, oh, maybe. So if you guys would like to see, like, a video where maybe I try TikTok for the first time, then comment down below and let me know. Yeah. I know I'm not really doing a lot in today's video, like I'm doing my makeup, but I don't know, I feel like sitting down and chatting with you guys. What else is, oh yeah, so the thing that's changed recently. So I had a friend in high school, I don't want to name names, so I'm gonna name him Jordan. So me and Jordan were like best friends in high school. We got along a lot, we talked all the time, blah blah blah, really good friends. And then when high school ended, we had a falling out. I kind of remember what the falling out was about, but I don't really remember. I have a really, really bad memory. I'm not gonna share the details because I don't think there's a point. It's done, it's over with. But I remember at one point I'd messaged him and I was like, oh hey, like, you know, I'm really sorry about the things I said, like I was kind of mean to you, you know, we were young, we were stupid, do you want to be friends again? He never messaged me back, so I was like, oh, okay, whatever, like, obviously he doesn't want to be friends, that's cool. But then the other day, I got a message from somebody who had the same name as him, and it was like, oh, Jordan Smith, I'm gonna name him Jordan Smith, because I don't think I actually know Jordan Smith. Jordan Smith wants to connect with you on Facebook, and I'm like, Jordan Smith, isn't that this guy? And then I like told my mom, and she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Jordan Smith was his name. Like, I know his name was Jordan, but I don't remember his last name, but I'm pretty sure something like Smith. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, it turns out it was him. And so he's basically was like, oh, hey, like, let's let bygones be bygones. And I was like, yeah, I'm good with that. Like, I was kind of mean to you too, so it wasn't just, like, I mean, I'm partially to blame for falling out as well, so you being able to message and say, like, hey, let's just forgive and forget. I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, whatever. I wasn't, you know, I was ready to forgive a while ago. But I've been talking more, and it's kind of nice to, like, get that friendship back, because I was talking to, I think it was Caitlin and them the other day, and I was just like, yeah, you know, like, I do miss my friendship with this guy. Like, it kind of sucks that we had that falling out or whatever, and, like, it'd be nice if he was to message me and say hey, but, like, he hasn't yet, so whatever. Like, I can always just, like, I have other friends. It's not, like, it's that big a deal. But then when you message, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, thank you. Because I did miss that friendship. Which sucks, because, like, I mean, I think probably we needed a little bit of a break of the friendship. Like, it just, I went through a time where I maybe wasn't, like, I don't think I wasn't the nicest person, but, like, I definitely was struggling with my mental health and stuff. So I feel like I kind of, okay, I'm not saying that, like, if your friend's struggling with mental health, you should stop being their friend, but I kind of understand why people weren't my friend, because I wasn't really the funnest person to be around. So I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying I understand it, like, and I also, like I said, I did get kind of mean sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I would snap at people for, like, stupid things, and I wasn't really the best person to be around, I'll admit. So the fact that, you know, people are at least able to say, like, oh, damn, that was in your past, like, let's be friends again. I was like, cool. Which, I mean, I'm very lucky, because some people who are, like, mean, that doesn't always happen. So I'm not saying, like, oh, it's okay to be mean, because people will forgive you in the future, because that's not necessarily true. Like, they might forgive you, but they might not. So I just happen to be really lucky. Yeah, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Which, oh, also, I'm going to give you guys another story time now that I'm thinking, because the story I'm about to tell you kind of happened around the time, I think, that, like, we stopped being friends. It has nothing to do with him at all. Like, it just happened around the same time, and I think it was also part of the reason that I started to get so mean, because, anyways, I'm going to explain the story. So I went to college, and I was living in a different town than my hometown. Like, it wasn't far away. People could still, like, drive and come visit me, but it wasn't, like, I mean, they had to drive to come visit me, right? So it wasn't like I could just, whereas now, a couple of my friends live, like, one in the same town, but the other one lives literally around the corner. So when we want to hang out, it's basically just, like, a 5-minute walk, right? It's not that big a deal. But when I was in this town, I couldn't do that. So one night, when I was talking on, I think it was Skype, with my, at the time, boyfriend, all of a sudden I started to hear this noise upstairs. Now, mind you, in the house I was living in, it was supposed to be, like, I was supposed to have roommates, but they weren't, this would have been in, I'm going to say June, I don't exactly know what month it was, but, like, it was in the summer, definitely. And then my roommates weren't supposed to be coming until September. So I heard a bunch of people upstairs, or, like, noises upstairs, and I turned to my boyfriend. I'm like, I think there's somebody in my house. And he was like, oh, it's probably just the wind or something. Like, he's like, you don't have a pet, so it could be that, but, like, you know, it's probably nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no. There's literally somebody in my house. Like, I'm not being over dramatic. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, there's somebody in my house. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, basically just go check it out. Like, I don't think he really believed me. Honestly, I think he thought that I was just being, like, I heard a noise and freaked out. So I go upstairs, and there's, and this probably doesn't make sense, so my bedroom was in the basement. So I go upstairs, like, the main floor, and I see some man on my couch. Now, mind you, around this time, like, I think that night I had just gotten home, like, from the hospital because I was sick. I don't remember what was wrong, but I just remember, like, being sick in the hospital. So I go upstairs, and there's just some man in my house, and I'm just like, okay, like, I'm like, hi, because in my head, I'm like, did the hospital give me, like, some sort of pain medication that's making me hallucinate or something. Like, what is going on? But then he's like, well, hi. And I'm like, who are you? Meanwhile, like, I'm full on freaking out because there's just some random man in my house. And, like, he wasn't, not that size matters, but, like, he wasn't a small man either. He was quite tall and quite big, so if he wanted to take me on, he could. And I'm just, like, I remember, like, scanning him, trying to, like, see if he had a weapon on him. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, where's the nearest phone? Where's the nearest exit? Like, you know, what do I do if I had, like, I'm, like, if I have to grab a weapon, like, where is one? Like, trying to figure out my surroundings. I'm just like, who are you? And he's like, well, I'm your roommate's brother. And I'm like, I don't have roommates? Like, and he's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, well, no, I have people who are supposed to be moving in September, which is a couple months away, that are going to be my roommates, but nobody lives here right now. And he's like, well, we got drunk, so we decided to come here instead of driving home. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, thank you for, you know, not driving home drunk, like, good job, but you don't live here, so maybe next time, knock on the door when you walk in, like, you know, you have keys because you're moving in September, whatever. Or, like, the way the door worked is that you had keys, or you could do a code on the door, so the one guy, like, remembered the code. I'm like, so you have the code to the place, that's nice. Maybe next time when you randomly walk in, call down to the basement or up to the bedrooms even and be like, hey, it's your future roommates, we're just here because we got drunk and don't want to drive home. Don't just walk in. And then I noticed that a bunch of my things were moved. And I was just like, oh. And, like, I had dishes in the sink because, like I said, like, I'd just gone home that day from the hospital. And I was like, oh, like, I'm really sorry. The place was a bit of a mess. Like, I know I had dishes in the sink. But I just got home from the hospital. And he's like, well, this place was a disgusting pigsty. And I'm like, there's 2 bowls in the sink and a fork and a spoon because my mom was here earlier and she made a soup for dinner, and then she had to go home because she had work, and I was home, and then I had, like, my suitcase that I had in the hospital with me was on, like, the couch just kind of opened up because when I got home I just kind of, like, threw the suitcase out. I was like, I'll put it away tomorrow, like, I want to eat some soup and go to bed, like, you know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, well, where'd my suitcase go? And he was like, over there, and pointed to the garbage can. So I walked over, and all of my stuff that was in my suitcase was thrown into the garbage. Yeah, they just opened up my suitcase and just dumped it into the garbage can. Not only did they technically break in because they weren't living there yet, they just, you know, just had to throw out my stuff. So, of course, I had to dig through the garbage can to get my stuff out, which was really gross. And then, because it's garbage, and although there wasn't a lot of garbage in there because I hadn't really been home for a while, there's still some, and it was still gross. So, yeah, that was nasty. And then I noticed when they left the next day, or I don't even think I stayed that night. I think I, like, called someone. I don't even remember who I called, but I remember calling somebody and being like, can you come pick me up? Like, I can't be here because I don't know these men, and they don't live here. Like, I understand that they lived here before, and then they were taking a break, and they're going to live here again, so technically it's not really breaking in, but at the same time, like, maybe tell somebody, don't just, like, walk around the house, because what would have happened if me being a smart person, instead of walking upstairs to see who was in my house, I'd called the police. Like, you know what I mean? Or what happens if, I don't know, I wasn't a smart person, and I was one of those people who would just automatically grab a weapon or something, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a recipe for disaster. But anyways, so then I noticed, like, I left that night and I came back a few days later, half my shit was missing. Like, I had this pair of, like, really fancy headphones. They were, like, I don't remember what kind they were. The No, that's not it. I don't know, but it was, like, these really fancy headphones I'd gotten for, like, $250 that I'd, like, just bought, like, 2 weeks before, that I'd gotten, like, for college. So I could, like, be able to, like, listen to things on, like, the computer or whatever when I had to do homework. Or, like, just, you know, they were, like, $250 headphones. They were gone. Just missing, you know, just gone. And then I had a whole bunch of other things missing. So I told my mom, and she was like, oh, like she knew they'd broken in. But then I told her about like how a bunch of my stuff was missing. She's like, you should have called the cops. Like as soon as you heard somebody was in your house, you should have called the cops because they weren't meant to be there. Like, okay, yeah, it was great that they went there instead of driving home. Like, I applaud that. But then after that, like, I could not. Even now, like, I can't be home alone because I'm so afraid. Like, I was lucky at that point that the people that broke into my house were there, you know, not to hurt me. They were there because they didn't want to drive home, but I still had a bunch of stuff stolen. I still had, like, you know, the guy being nasty and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, ooh. So now I don't like to be home alone, which isn't great because it kind of makes life difficult because sometimes you have to be home alone. But anyways, I know I'm not done my makeup, but I think I'm going to end it there because it's already been like 25 minutes and I've already had a bunch of story times with you guys. But like I said, please remember to like and subscribe. I love you. Cheers.